Today's video is one I've been thinking about making for a while now, and it's my thoughts regarding Hitman 2016, having played the game for nearly a year at this point. Whilst these are my opinions, it does not mean I will not listen to any of yours, or value your input regarding this topic. It's a free society and I'd love to hear what you have to say. So whether you're listening to me talk right now, or you're just watching my mad little run in Paris, here we go. Hitman 2016 was my first experience of a world of assassination, and from a newcomer's perspective it was a brilliant experience. As a gamer who tends to stay away from the stealth genre, I was tentative about purchasing the game due to not being comfortable with sneaking around and taking the quiet approach, when the loud one was much more practical and fun. After seeing a lot of footage of people playing the game, I realised it was not what I would consider a standard stealth game. There was a bit of fun to it in the disguises. This is what drew me in, the idea of being able to blend into an hostile environment and wreak havoc from behind enemy lines. And although this was nothing new to players of previous Hitman games, this was and will remain a fantastic selling point to newcomers of the series. After getting the game on sale, I was quickly drawn in during the tutorial level on the yacht. Although some of the game's mechanics were unknown to me at this point, I just fell in love with the idea of being able to be as creative as possible with how I take down a target. Although I'll admit with Calvin Ritter, I did enjoy just shooting him in the head. Months passed and I completed the game on standard difficulty, and it became clear that I had followed the game's plan for a newcomer to the series. Follow the opportunities system and it will help you to complete challenges. I carried this over when doing my first attempts on professional mode, and even though I followed the guides, to which I will never be able to thank Mr. Freeze2244 enough for creating, it gave me a sense of enjoyment that not only was I playing a stealth game, I was learning how to best it. For a newcomer to the genre, that is a feeling that is hard to kick. Even if you are copying a walkthrough that someone else has posted and created, the feeling of success when you complete Colorado Silent Assassin Suit Only, it cannot be matched. Something I see every time in other content creators who I watch, follow and subscribe. It's because of this I get irritated when I read comments that Hitman 2016 failed or that players have become bored of playing it. I understand fatigue can set in. I've been creating videos for a few months now, and I'll admit that it is fun when I'm just playing the game rather than actually creating videos from it. It's the comments from the general player though that irritate me. Perhaps they come from players who have experienced a level of success in the series I have not. Blood Money and Absolution are high on my list of games I should try and play. I know there will be others, yet I cannot understand the logic that one lesser game in a series also means it is a poor game or a failed game. When I'm not playing Hitman, I'm also on Star Wars Battlefront 2 a lot, and if you compare the two games for the amount of bugs or glitches, IO Interactive and all the developers involved still in Hitman's first season should have no shame in how they've tidied up the game at the time of recording. Yes, there are frustrations that I refer to sometimes in my videos. Wall glitches, closets next to doors, long pushes to an exit of a level, and so on, but these are not game breaking. A potential 2-minute exit time doesn't make Bangkok my favourite map in the game, yet it doesn't automatically mean I will avoid playing it either. Equally, not being able to see my score during a match is irritating, but the tension it creates as I get close to completing the mission adds to the game rather than detracts from it. Maybe veterans of the series can help me out here. So far I've neglected to refer to the story, but that in part is due to a lack of familiarity with the backstory. Whilst the prologue levels do set things up nicely for newcomers like myself, it is hard to know if a gripe amongst players is that the story just didn't match up to what had come before, or perhaps the amount of content failed to reach previous heights. Without risking spoiling games that I wish to play in the future, I cannot find this out, but I hope with Season 2 on the horizon that all the players get a story that they are happy with, as well as a game as a whole that they're happy with. Yet on its own standing, I do not feel that Hitman Season 1 was bad by any sense. It suffers from setting up a sequel that at the current count is 2 years in the making, yet the idea of the ICA being manipulated into taking out contracts is compelling to me, and I can't help but wonder where it will lead into the next season. Seeing a story that shows the player more of 47's character would make sense, as from Season 1 I know very little about him, where from what I can tell previous games made better attempts to flesh his character out from being just a standard hitman into something slightly more complex. Story arcs are something that I love in modern television and film, and I think it is great that game series are willing to take a risk and flesh stories out across multiple instalments. I just hope that they are like story arcs, they know where they are going come the eventual conclusion. Overall, I cannot praise Hitman 2016 enough for bringing a non-stealth gamer into its fold and making me fall in love with its gameplay mechanics. Whilst I recognise the game has its critics, you won't find one here, and I'm hoping come Season 2 I can experience something new, experiencing a world of assassination as an initiate of the series rather than the newcomer I was before. If you've played Hitman 2016 and you have an opinion about the game, share it in the comments, or leave a like if you agree with the thoughts I've shared here. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel. I release new videos Monday to Saturday and would love to see more of what people think of them. Thanks for listening, this is Josh, and until next time, bye!